Hey, what's up YouTube? Down the Smartphone Guy coming back at you with another video, and tonight I want to take a look at two watches that a lot of people have been asking me about. So on my left hand side I have the Ticwatch 2, and in my right hand I have the Ticwatch E. So this one is brand new. It's only been out for about 2 or 3 weeks now, whereas the Ticwatch 2 is about a year old, and there's a lot of differences and a lot of similarities between these two devices. So a lot of people have been asking me which one is the better buy today. So right now you can pick up the Ticwatch E on Amazon for $130, so I'll leave links down in the description for both of them. And right now the Ticwatch 2 is available at gearbest.com for $150. And so because of the similarities and because of the price similarities, a lot of people have been asking me to do the review where I compare the two. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this thing started. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start out the comparison of these two watches with a discussion of the build quality. And without a doubt, there is no question in my mind which of these two watches have the better build quality, and that is definitely the Ticwatch 2. So the main thing being just the materials that it's made out of. So this is made out of ceramic on the back, and then on the side we have an aluminum casing. So just overall, without a doubt, the more premium of the two watches is going to be the Ticwatch 2. Now, they do also have a stainless steel version. It's a little bit more expensive, but there is a stainless steel version of the Ticwatch 2 as well. But hands down, I would say this one has the better build quality. It does also feature removable quick release bands, which is definitely a feature of the Ticwatch E as well. Now, if you get the Ticwatch S, which I don't have at the moment, that one does not have removable bands because it has GPS built into the band itself. So you can see that the Ticwatch E is made out of plastic. One other thing you'll notice about it is how much thicker it is versus the Ticwatch 2. So it's definitely a much thicker watch, but you don't really notice it a whole lot simply because this is such a lightweight watch. Again, it's the plastic that makes it so light. So that would be definitely one negative, I would say, of the Ticwatch E. But again, it's super, super light, so you don't really notice the fact that it is larger other than the fact that it's a little bit thicker. That's the one thing that you notice when you're wearing it, is how thick it is. So just kind of a quick comparison again of the thickness of the two watches. One other thing worth mentioning about the build quality is the fact that this one's IP67 water resistant, which means you could technically accidentally, drop it in the water. You could technically, accidentally jump in the water with it on, and you should be just fine. Obviously, a rainstorm, no problem. So IP67, that's awesome. Whereas with the Ticwatch 2, you only got IP54. So that is one thing that they kind of changed, that they listened to the community and they changed that with the Ticwatch E and also with the Ticwatch S. Now, one thing you also miss with the build quality on the Ticwatch E and actually the Ticwatch S is you lose this tickle side. That's part of the reason why it was called the Tick watch, is because of the tickle. And that's basically just this little strip on the side that you can use to scroll. So that is one thing you're missing. And whether that was something that anybody used or not on the Ticwatch 2, I personally didn't use it, but it's not a feature on either the Ticwatch E or the Ticwatch S. So now let's go ahead and jump into the software of the two devices. So we'll start out with the Ticwatch 2 again. So in terms of software, this is running technically TicOS is what it's called, but it's actually running Android 5.1 with a very heavy skin on top of it. So the amount of apps you can get on this watch is going to be a lot more limited. It has some nice watch faces, which actually all the same watch faces were carried over to the Ticwatch E and S. Obviously, I was going to say that the watch faces are a little bit more robust when it comes to the Ticwatch E, but that's actually not true because after a while with the Ticwatch 2, they allowed you to use apps like Facer and Watchmaker. So if you come in here, so they have that watch face app right here. So yeah, it actually opened up the amount of apps you're able, amount of watch faces you're able to get on the Ticwatch 2. So that was a little bit of a negative, but not so much anymore. Also, they added in a feature that allowed you to download some Android Wear apps. Now that was pretty limited by the time the last operating system came out for it, so I think mine should be completely up to date at this point. but it is limited, and so if you want to see a video about that limit to the OS in terms of getting additional apps, you'll have to check out my video on that. It's about Android Wear on the Ticwatch 2. So I do really like TicOS. Honestly, I said it was like one of my favorite OSs. So that's just the like similar to like Google Assistant. So I can say, what was the score of the Pistons game tonight? Now this will only work if it's connected to a watch via Bluetooth, so let's see here. So apparently they did not play tonight, but anyways, so that is a little assistant, and it does work quite well, so it works with like basic things like weather and scores and things like that. It's not going to be nearly as robust as what you get on Google Assistant, so just kind of keep that in mind. Up here, we have just a few quick toggles here, and then if we scroll to the bottom, we have our notifications. And I will say this about the notifications, I love the notification system here. I actually prefer it to the Android Wear 2.0 because you have a little bit more options with it. So if I come in here, let's say to the tweet from Jay Will here, I can actually come down here and I can reply to it, I can retweet it, I can like it, and I can just open it on the phone. So here, I'm going to like it. And so there we go. It liked it, and it just kind of popped up on my screen here as well on my phone. So I really like, whoops, I didn't mean to do that, but I really like how it handles notifications. So that's something I really like about the OS here. And now we're going to go ahead and just kind of take a look real quick through. I'm not going to go into a detailed look at the apps, but you can just see kind of the basic things. We have the dialer, health, that's where you're going to get all your health information for the day. Fitness is where you're going to track all your workouts, heart rate, calendar, weather, alarms, timer, calculator, recorder, stopwatch, player. So that's where your music player is going to be. So you can download music on there. So I have the Hamilton soundtrack on there right now, which happens to be my favorite thing to run with. And then we have the Mob Voice Store, which is very limited, not nearly as robust as like the Android Wear Store, and then settings. So that is a quick look at the software there. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time here. Basically, this is running Android Wear 2.0, so if you're familiar with it, you'll kind of know. So we have some quick toggles up to the top. If we hit the button over here, you can see all the apps. Now, of course, you have the Google Play Store here. Now, it's only the Android Wear Play Store, so it's a little bit more limited than what you'd get, obviously, on the watch, but you can put games on here. Obviously, you're a lot less limited in terms of what apps you can put on the Ticwatch E, so that's definitely a plus. If I scroll to the right or to the left, it's going to give me the option to switch between watch faces. And again, your options are basically, I mean, for all intents and purposes, nearly unlimited with the watch faces. So you can see here, we have, again, if we scroll to the bottom, we have the ability to look at some of our notifications. So if I come in here, like let's say this tweet from Derek Carr. So if I click on it, I can go in here and basically you can see that my options are a little bit more limited here, but you can like it, retweet it, and reply to it. Now this does have a microphone built in, as does the Ticwatch 2. They both have speakers built in, so if you want to speak out your reply, that is available, so that's awesome. And you notice that both of them have a swipe to the right in order to kind of dismiss it. So that is nice, but Android Wear definitely has the more options. I just prefer the operating of TicOS. So, I mean, again, it's kind of like, you know, Samsung Gear S3 Frontier versus Android Wear. Well, yeah, S3 Frontier and Tizen might not be as robust as far as what apps you can get on it, but it just works better. And that is still true, I think, of TicOS versus Android Wear. And that's just a personal opinion. I think Android Wear is definitely improving, obviously, but I still kind of prefer TicOS versus Android Wear. So Android, if you're listening, check out TicOS. It's worth checking out because I think it's a little bit better than what you're doing here. So with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about the fitness tracking of the two. And this is a pretty easy one in terms of fitness tracking. Now, they both feature GPS, but one of the things they did with the Ticwatch E and the S is they improved the GPS. So this one has more GPS options available. So I believe it has like a GPS, it has Baidu, it also has GPS. So a few more GPS satellites are available on here versus with the Ticwatch 2, they were a little bit more limited. Now, they had updated it. So in the last couple runs that I've done, it did just as good of a job as the Ticwatch E, but I will say that it's a little bit more spotty. So every once in a great while, it will drop the satellite signal, especially if you're running in trails and things like that. This is definitely not as good if you're going to be running in trails. You want to go with the Ticwatch E. This one was dead on in terms of GPS almost every time I ran with it. Actually, every time I've run with it, it's been dead on. Whereas with the Ticwatch 2, it's really great when I'm running on a straight route or even running in a route that doesn't have a whole lot of trees and things like that. But as soon as you get into like a real curvy route, or if you're running into like thick woods or whatever, you will definitely run into some trouble with the Ticwatch 2 in terms of GPS tracking. So if really accurate GPS tracking is important to you, I would say probably you want to go with the Ticwatch E, or I'm going to throw a shameless plug in here for the Amazfit Pace, because this happens to be one of my favorite watches still, even though it's a little bit more limited when it comes to the features of that watch. So I'll leave a link down in the description for all three of these watches. So anyways, moving on. So battery life is another area that a lot of people talk about, and that's important to a lot of people. And for that, it's pretty much a draw between the two. In this complete honesty, between the two, it's easily I can get through a day, and so I'm using them with the screen always on. I get all of my notifications to it, so I kind of try to push it as hard as I can with both of these watches. Use GPS when I go for a run, connect it to music. So again, with music, you have, I think, 800 megabits, or megabytes, I should say, of storage available on here. Roughly about the same here, but here you're using Google Play Music specifically to get music onto the watch. You do have other options other than Google Play Music. But here, basically, you have to download the music from your phone to the watch. So that is available on the app, so I'll just kind of show you that real quick. So if I go in here to, I put it under fitness, so Ticwear, that's the app that the Ticwatch 2 uses, which is still a great app, I think. So you can see that you can control some of the things here. But if I go over here into music, you can see that I have 325 megabits of, or megabytes of music on here. So that is all the music that I've moved, which is basically just the Hamilton soundtrack, from my phone over to the watch. So that's how you do it. So the music has to be on your phone in order to transfer it over to the watch, and that's pretty easy to get. I also did a video about that, so if you want to figure out how to do that, check out my video about how to get music from your Google Play Music over to the Ticwatch 2. I made a video on that. But here, it's a lot more simple. Basically, you just go into the watch here, and it's going to transfer it directly from your phone. So whatever, if you create a playlist on your phone, then you can easily just download them directly to the watch. But in terms of the actual storage, you're basically getting the same amount of storage here on the Ticwatch E as you get on the Ticwatch 2. So I forgot where I was going with that. So battery life, yeah. So this one is basically going to get you about 36 hours of real heavy usage, and pretty much the same with the Ticwatch E. Really not a whole lot of difference between the two. The one thing I will say that's maybe just a difference is the fact that I have the charger here. So the Ticwatch 2, and this is really something I wish they wouldn't have got rid of, because the Ticwatch 2 uses basically just Qi wireless charging. So it comes with this little tiny Qi wireless charger, magnetizes onto it, and you can just plug it in with a micro USB there. So that is awesome, and I can technically put it on a wireless charger that I have sitting around for a phone. So that's awesome. So definitely charging goes to the Ticwatch 2, because with the Ticwatch E and the Ticwatch S, you have this little thing here, and it's going to basically just magnetize to the watch, and then on the other end you have a USB, so you can plug it into your computer or whatever. So I hate that you have to use this. I'm just not a fan. I just prefer the wireless charging over here on the Ticwatch 2. So with that being said, I think that's about all the areas I want to cover. I can't think of anything else that I need to cover between the two. But if there's anything I missed that you have questions about, definitely leave them down in the comment section. So in the end, which one is the better watch for you? Well, if you want the more premium device, hands down, the Ticwatch 2 for me is going to be the better. If you need more apps, you need the ability to get Android Wear apps on the watch, which I haven't really found any use for a lot of them personally, but the Ticwatch E would definitely be the one for you. And then also, if GPS tracking is really important to you and you want the most accurate GPS, then I would go with the Ticwatch E. I should also mention that they both have heart rate sensors built into the bottom of them, and I would say they both are very similar. In fact, they look like the exact same sensor here. I didn't notice any difference in terms of the heart rate tracking, which is to say they both do a good job of heart rate tracking. Obviously, wearing a heart rate strap would be better, but both of them seem to do a pretty decent job of heart rate tracking. So anyways, quick comparison. If there's anything I missed or any questions that you have, go ahead and leave them down in the comments section. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.